Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Beaches across California are about to be closed again, just a few days after many of them open here in the county. Multiple outlets are now reporting that Governor Gavin Newsom will make that order tomorrow, and it will go into effect on Friday. Our ABC affiliate in Los Angeles obtained this memo from the California Police Chiefs Association. It says the governor made that decision after seeing the heavy crowds in some beach communities, especially in Orange County. Aerial video showed packed crowds at Newport and Huntington Beach this weekend. Tens of thousands of people showed up each day, many violating those public safety orders. Governor Newsom did praise San Diegans for how they followed the public health orders. State parks, they will also be closed. Now, Del Mar was scheduled to open tomorrow, but this breaking news here in just the last hour. The city has decided to no longer open. Moonlight Beach in Encinitas closed earlier today, but not because of the governor. Instead, it was a shark sighting. A surfer was taken to the hospital after a close call with a shark. Lifeguards ordered everyone out of the water in Encinitas. Now, this happened around 6 o'clock tonight north of Cottonwood Creek at Moonlight Beach. Our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is in Encinitas, where experts say the red tide may have been a factor in that shark encounter.
The surfer encountered the shark in about 8 feet of water here in Encinitas. Now, fortunately, lifeguards say he was not bit. This video posted on Instagram shows the moments after a surfer was injured during an encounter with a shark just south of Moonlight Beach.
RP's the Encinitas lifeguard. They're requesting assist at the main lifeguard station for a shark attack.
The call came in before 6 p.m. Wednesday. The beaches had just reopened on Monday, so many were anxious to get into water, and just like that, they were rushing to get out.
We heard the lifeguard come on the speaker, loudspeaker, just like out of the movies, ladies and gentlemen, type thing.
The surfer was taken to the hospital, but lifeguards say his injury was minor, emphasizing it was not a bite.
He described it as him. It either bumped him or he kicked him, or he kicked it, and then he thought it was acting aggressively.
Right now, red tides are occurring off the coast. NOAA biologist Heidi Dewar says that makes it harder to see in the water. She says it's possible the shark might have thought the surfer was a seal and was probing and testing what it was seeing.
It's possible that the reduced visibility in the water, that brown that people see during the day, made it easier for the shark to make a mistake.
She also points out it is pupping season.
This time of year, the big females will come in and drop their pups. That's one of the reasons why a big animal would come into this area, which would normally not be a part of their range.
The beach will be open tomorrow, but these signs will be posted letting people know there was a shark sighting. Anthony Pura, 10 News.
All right, speaking of that red tide, crowds were out at Sunset Cliffs again tonight, full of people trying to catch a glimpse of that bioluminescent display along our coastline. San Diego police officers, they were also out, making sure that people practice social distancing. Our 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo shows us the response was much different than the crowds we saw last night.
San Diegans were back at Sunset Cliffs tonight, hoping to see the bioluminescence in the water. The streets were bumper-to-bumper traffic. The cliffs full of people staring towards the ocean. Their cameras ready and masked on, and only at times practicing social distancing. People were out even before the sun went down, with everyone trying to catch a glimpse.
We heard the beach was open. We heard that there was going to be some cool lights in the water, so why not come out and check it out?
These women wearing masks and hoping others going to see the display would do the same.
We hope that people would respect that because that's what we're going to do. That's why we have our masks, because we still are trying to be out, but still follow the guidelines that are set in place. That's important.
The police were also out in full force. Parking enforcement officers, along with a number of patrol and motorcycle officers, were out keeping an eye on the crowds.
To be honest, this is the first time I've been seeing it like this, because I usually run here maybe like twice a week, and I've never seen this many cops.
Tuesday night, only a few were wearing masks and cars were lined up looking for a place to park. No police around. SDPD told 10 News officers had high priority calls and couldn't send officers until later that night, reminding San Diegans to practice social distancing, whether or not officers are around. Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
And tonight, the Sheriff's Department has confirmed there were over 1,000 people up and down the beach at Moonlight Beach to get a glimpse of the bioluminescent waves there as well. All right, here's a look at the latest coronavirus numbers in our county. 118 new cases were reported today. That brings our total now to 3,432. The county also announced 2 new deaths today, which brings our total to 120. Starting tomorrow, you will see some major changes to streets across the city of San Diego. Mayor Kevin Faulconer announced that the city will join a nationwide effort called the Slow Streets Program. Car traffic will be altered to give more room for people who are walking, jogging, or riding their bikes, as you can see, while still following social distancing.
Opening up parts of streets so people have more room to walk by limiting vehicular traffic on certain selected roads. We will also be reopening commuter bikeways to help essential workers get to work faster and more efficiently. We will be upgrading our crosswalk infrastructure with new, larger signal buttons that you can press with your elbow or arm so you don't have to use your hands or fingers during this pandemic.
Each city council member is recommending which streets to close off in their districts. The full list of streets will be posted on the city's website tomorrow. The stay-at-home order from the county will be extended indefinitely. County Public Health Officer Wilma Wooten says that she will make that order tomorrow. While some health orders could be rolled back here in the coming days, County Supervisor Greg Cox says others are still a ways off.
We must be guided by the framework for reopening put out by Governor Newsom yesterday and by the medical data and the facts on the ground. Rushing ahead of the state would create legal issues and would lead to different rules up and down the state that would just confuse people. And let's be real, people are not going to feel comfortable going back to non-essential businesses until we get a better handle on public health.
The supervisor suggested that tomorrow they could announce some easing of restrictions at recreation. Now, we told you earlier about reports that Governor Newsom will be closing all California beaches as of Friday. In the meantime, he says that California is still about a week or 2 away from making changes to the current stay-at-home order. He says the virus is not behind us and that Californians must continue to take precautions seriously.
We can undo our progress in a very short period of time. What's taken us almost 2 months to produce in terms of getting stable numbers could be unwound in a period of just a week or 2. Why put ourselves in that position when we are just a week or 2 away from significant modifications on our stay-at-home order?
The director of California's Health and Human Services Agency also spoke today, saying that the state is working to relax its testing guidelines. This would allow more Californians to get tested, not just those who are symptomatic. The nation hit a somber milestone. 60,000 people have died from the coronavirus. My co-anchor Kimberly Hunt is joining us from home with the other developments today. And Kim, as dark as the day was, there is some light.
Yeah, the somber new number also came out on the very same day that a drug study is being called good news in the fight against the virus. The nation's top expert calling it very encouraging. A new vaccine is also showing hope. This as grim scenes and rising numbers play out in parts of our country. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the latest.
The number of COVID-19 cases still surging in some parts of the country, including Massachusetts and Illinois. And in hardest hit New York City, this horrific scene. Police finding at least 100 bodies in unrefrigerated trucks outside of this funeral home. The director saying they ran out of room. But amidst the devastating stories linked to this pandemic, new hope in treating coronavirus patients. The country's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, announcing the drug remdesivir, originally tested for Ebola, may be effective in treating COVID-19, according to preliminary results from an NIH study.
The data shows that remdesivir has a clear-cut, significant positive effect in diminishing the time to recovery. This is really quite important. It's highly significant.
The drug for now only given to very sick patients in hospitals. More research is still being done.
A new study just published in The Lancet done in China using remdesivir showed no significant effect. So the NIH study finding is encouraging. Many infectious disease experts find it promising.
Optimism as Pfizer announces they'll test a potential vaccine as early as next week that the pharma giant says could be available for emergency use in the fall. But until then, concerns remain about large crowds. These mourners packing the streets of Brooklyn for an Orthodox Jewish funeral. In at least 11 other states, a slow return to normal. Some businesses reopening. 7 more states will allow the same by the end of the week. And despite worries about the possibility of a resurgence in cases, President Trump going even further, saying he hopes to be able to hold mega rallies before November, adding he's optimistic about sports venues being filled soon as well.
I want to go back to where it was. That's where we're going to be. Look, this thing will pass.
Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Getting back to the study on remdesivir, it was given to over 1,000 patients in 22 countries. The very first patient to get it was a passenger on the cruise ship. That was the Diamond Princess, which docked right here in Oakland, California. And some of those people were quarantined right here at Miramar. Steve?
Sounds promising. Kim, thank you.